Do Zoom meetings feel really awkward to you? One of the questions that I get asked a lot is how to make Zoom meetings less awkward. And the two things that get brought up to me the most are wrapping up a presentation on a Zoom meeting or wrapping up the meeting altogether. Like, how do you get off the call when you're ready to be done with the call? So let's say that you are going to present some information to someone. Let's just say that this is maybe a group meeting at work where you're all supposed to be giving different reports on different things. So you might give your report, and at the end of the report, you would say something like, okay, well, that's all I had for my piece of it. Does anybody have any questions? And if they don't, you go, okay, good. Glad it was clear. Whoever's next can go right ahead. Or if it's always Amanda who goes after you, you can say, no questions? Okay, perfect. Amanda, I guess it's your turn. Go right ahead. Or you can say something like, okay, that got everybody's questions answered? Perfect. Amanda, I think the floor is all yours. Go right ahead. And you're just passing that ball. It's about what's next. The way that you keep it from being awkward is you have it in your head before you even start. When I'm done, what is the next thing? Is the next thing that I need to ask for questions? Maybe you're not opening the floor to questions. So then who would be speaking after you? Are you going to send, let's say that your supervisor's name is Nick. So are you just reporting to Nick, or are you passing the conversation to Amanda because she needs to present next? So what are you supposed to be doing after? So if you get done with this presentation, maybe it's just a standalone thing where it's like, it's a monthly meeting. They asked you to get up and say something about what you do, and that's all you're supposed to be doing on that meeting. And then the regular meeting is going to resume. So you could just say your piece, and then when you're done, you just wrap it up with something like, okay, well, that's all I had for today. Nick, I'm going to let you take back over. Something like that. Who is it that's supposed to be speaking next? The awkward part is when you just go, okay, I'm done. And then you just let that hang in the air. So you're either asking for questions or not. If you're not asking for questions, you just go, okay, and that's all I had. Nick, I'm going to give it back to you. Or if you're asking for questions, you say, all right, that concludes the formal part of my presentation. Does anybody have any questions? You answer the questions. Once the questions die down, you say, is that good? Everybody got their questions answered? Awesome. Okay, Amanda, I think you're next. Go right ahead. And you just let it move into whatever's supposed to happen next. All right, let's say that you need to wrap up the meeting completely. Maybe you're having one of these meetings where the meeting is done, but people are just lingering, and nobody wants to be the first one to wrap up the meeting because they don't want to feel like they're trying to ditch out before everybody else. So the best way to do this is to pick a specific reason that you need to wrap up the call. And that reason could be anything. Maybe this is more of a group chat of friends, and you're saying something like, okay, guys, I'd love to stay and chat longer, but I got to go pick up the kids from school. Or, ooh, you know what? It's 4 o'clock. If I don't get started on dinner right now, I'm going to have some grumpy kids in a few hours. So I'm going to have to get out of here. Y'all take care. Or maybe it's, okay, I've got to go finish working on this project that I've got to turn in the morning. And if I don't get started right now, I'm not going to get to bed on time. I got to go. It was great to see you guys. I'll catch up later. So if it's something where it's not really work, it's not a work meeting. If it's a work meeting and you're trying to wrap it up, make the reason related to work. Okay, for me, I have to go see patients in my home health job. So we're done with the meeting. It's getting into that awkward lull where nobody knows what to do. Nobody wants to be the first one to say they need to go. I am more than happy to be the first one to say, okay, guys, that was a great meeting. I got to go see some patients. I will catch y'all next week. And I say my goodbyes and I get off. Maybe you don't have to see patients, but maybe it could just be, okay, fantastic meeting. I got to go put some numbers in some spreadsheets and earn my paycheck for the day. Or, okay, guys, well, this was wonderful, but, I need to make sure that I'm getting back on, I've got a meeting with Carl in 30 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up here. So I've got a little time to prepare for that next meeting. I'll see y'all later. It's always about what's next. And that's the red thread through all of these suggestions. What's next is what's next that you just need to hand the meeting back to the person who usually runs it. Is what's next that you need to ask for questions. Is what's next that you need to hand the conversation to whoever's going to need to speak next. Is what's next that you've got another meeting to prepare for, patients that you've got to go see, laundry that's calling your name, dinner that's got to get started, people who need to be picked up, finishing up for me charting in the evenings. Okay, I've got a couple of hours of charting to do, so I'm going to have to wrap this up so I can get that done so I can get to bed on time. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be the world's greatest excuse. You don't have, okay guys, I'm gonna go, solve world hunger now, bye. It doesn't have to be the best excuse in the world. It just needs to be a reason, and then you just give the reason, and then you just move on. It's as easy as that. And as far as the actual goodbyes, the actual goodbye is, okay, I'll see y'all later, take care. And in the meantime, you're hovering your cursor. I guess if this is backwards, it would be on this side of the screen for you. The little red X that's going to end the meeting for you, exit the meeting, end the meeting for all. Whatever that little red X says, you hover your cursor up there. You give your goodbyes. Okay, guys, it was great to see y'all. Have a great day. I'll catch you next week. And everybody goes, bye, bye, Julie, bye, bye. And then you just click that little red X and you're done. I hope that this was a very practically helpful video for you guys. Please keep the questions rolling in. I am always happy to help, always happy to give some suggestions where they're needed. And please let me know what you think of this. Is this something that you can easily implement when you've got these meetings that you have to do? Or do you need a little bit more guidance? Here's a bonus tip for you. If you are the person who is conducting this meeting, so you're the one that's kind of in charge of starting the meeting and ending the meeting, it makes it much easier when you give a time constraint at the beginning. So you get on the call, hey everybody, it's nice to see you, glad you could all make it. Just to make sure that we're all on the same page, I'm planning on this meeting lasting about 30 minutes because I know we've all got a lot to do, and I want to make sure that I'm not taking up too much of anybody's time. When that 30 minutes hits the clock, you just go, okay guys, that's our 30 minutes. Like I said, I know you've all got places to be, so I'm just gonna wrap up the meeting so we can all move on. So that's how you can wrap it up more easily when it's your job to wrap it up. By setting that expectation at the beginning, it just makes it so much easier to go, oh, that's our time that I'd already mentioned at the beginning. And it helps to keep things from getting awkward. Once again, you hover that little button right where that red X is. You say your goodbyes. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for, love to see all your bright shining faces. I'll catch you next week. Take care. Have a great day. X. Meeting is done. All right. I hope this was helpful, friends. I will see you next week.